There's a storm out there, but I don't care, yeah, I've got minds weather page. Here we go now. Minds weather page. You know you were tracking every move it makes. You know it's minds weather page. You know you won't let us all get blown away. Is it just me or is there spinach over here? There's spaghetti models and empty rum bottles, and sometimes Louis says hi. Hey, Louis. But you don't get no hurries and don't have no worries, cause we're drunk donkey nationwide. Everybody now. Minds weather page. You know he'll be tracking every move that makes. You know it's minds weather page. You know he won't let us all get blown away. Did I ever tell you the story of the drunk donkey? Once upon a time, there was this weather woman. You can come as a pilot, you stay kind of quiet, but you know you love watching my face. Yes, we do. Put your phone head shirt on, watch it live on your phone, and drink drunk donkey beer all day. Here we go now. Mike's weather page. You know he'll be tracking every move that makes. You know it's Mike's weather page. You know he won't let us all get blown away. Is that Blobby Bobby? I think that's Juicy Jerry. Yeah, Mike, throw a party, man.
What's up, everybody? Holy moly, that's Taco Tuesday song. I just figured it out. That's our Tuesday song, man. We have a Louis song. We have a Thursday night song. Now, we got to remember, that's our Taco Tuesday song. Tequila and tacos. I would love some. Not in that order. I used to go to Taco Bell as a kid and get 6 crunchy hard tacos, man. Oh god, they were so good. I could eat 12 of them. All right, what's everybody doing? At 6 o'clock, it's a little special tropical update. We usually don't do them at night, but we do it when there's tropics. I haven't even opened the drone yet, Lynn. I'm so behind. These days go by so fast. We'll be live tomorrow, 9:19 Eastern. That's our normal Wednesday. We do that. We go over all the models. I'm going to talk about Invest 98 tomorrow. We're just going to talk about the latest with Lee tonight. This is a current satellite imagery, by the way. I have a feeling people are just sick and tired of Lee. I don't think anybody cares anymore. If this was a 2-day-old hurricane, oh my God, there'd be all kinds of talking and discussion, but nobody cares anymore. Lee's done. Nobody wants to talk about it, but we have to talk about it. The Northeast needs to watch. Bermuda's going to get a little action Thursday, Friday. Northeast, man, I'm telling you, don't turn your back on Lee. Nova Scotia for sure, but this is tricky. I think we're going to have bigger impacts people realize. Just my gut feeling and everything I'm looking at. So it is going to weaken. I'm not trying to hype that. But as far as impacts go, I think we're going to have a little more surprise than people think. So anyway, it's our Daily Brew. I am not a meteorologist. I am a mediaologist is what they call me. I'm just some dude with a website. And we have a lot of great supporters. Of course, ABC Fine Wine and Spirits, one of them. Another one here locally, Tampa Bay Brewing Company. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. How about a little day donkey? Great place to go and eat dinner, too. They have amazing pizza. So I'll be hitting it hard when we're done in about 35, 45 minutes. Me and Julie are going to head to Chili. So, all right, so here's the latest. We're going to say hi for a few minutes. We'll do a lot more highs tomorrow. Got a lot of people from up north. Appreciate that. A lot of folks up north don't even come very often. So I know they're new when they say, why 919? Oh, I love that song. What kind of dogs you got? All right. This thing is huge. Amazingly huge. Like, it hasn't even expanded to what they think it's going to be as far as width, girth. Are you allowed to say girth? Is that a real word? Girth? Let me fix my camera. Did y'all see my little skit on CNN? I did a Aaron Burnett special again. I really like her. She lets me talk. I secretly listened to the one that I did last night to make sure that it was still the same, and it was. And I'm getting the tone now online that some meteorologists are starting to stress impacts more. And I'm like, man, I hope I didn't hype last night. But I really didn't hype. I'm telling you, there's going to be impacts. All right, well, look at this real quick. Let's look at what I want to show you. This is amazing. So this is current data from the hurricane hunters. You know, they fly this X pattern. I don't think I've ever seen the whole pattern in hurricane force winds. I mean, usually you get a few purple barbs around the eye, but it's huge. It's tremendous. Pressure's still low, man. 946 is not anything to blink at. It's a strong system with wide winds. I mean, at its current, that is amazing. I've never seen that much purple. I thought maybe they got stuck and only had a purple crayon. That's just incredible. It is starting to slow down, make that turn. But holy cow! I've added a couple links to the site on the bottom down here. These are pretty cool. I showed these this morning. Boat US has a couple cool graphics, but these are really cool too. These are from the National Hurricane Center. This is the overall track of Lee, and you can just see the red is the hurricane force winds, and look, it's just slowly getting bigger. Orange is getting bigger. This is the circle. I thought this was interesting. I just shared this online, but hurricane force winds are wider than the state of Florida. Bermuda's under tropical storm watch. Probably be a warning for sure, I would think, soon. I don't know if they'll be under hurricane watch or not. It's going to be really close, but we'll take a look. Key messages are out. 5 o'clock, we got a new track update. Not a lot of changes. The key messages, the most important part from the Hurricane Center, too soon to know the real impacts, basically. Since the wind and rainfall is going to be extending well past center, monitor updates. They're kind of warning people, hey, it's going to be big. I'm more thinking the waves and the winds are going to be epic. And I'm going to show you an example here in a second. Here's the latest satellite. We just showed that. The sun's going down. That's lightning. Not a lot of lightning in the center. Maybe not getting much stronger, but still healthy microwave imagery. Very strong. Structure is very good. Huge eye. Massive eye around this microwave imagery. Went through a lot of eye wall replacements today. When storms go through when they go through eye wall replacements, they generally start to weaken. Like they've reached their max, but they also begin to grow. And this one's doing that. So key messages. Here's the latest tracks. Let's look at the latest 5 p.m. Little zigzag. Doesn't look like Bermuda will have any chance of getting a direct hit, which has been good. The models have done really good with that. But look at this zigzag. We've been watching this little zigzag. Notice the H is a little farther. Not hyping anything, but I've been saying, as you know, forward speed, this thing isn't going to reduce much. It's going to be shocking to me to see this thing go from, here to here. So now the H is deeper. Doesn't mean it's a major 2, doesn't mean it's a 3, it just means hurricane. Hurricanes are rare. Very rare for Maine. Hurricanes are very rare to go in at that angle. I posted that last night. I'm not going to do it tonight, but most of yours come across almost like a nor'easter. They kind of cut through Cape Cod and continue that direction. But this one's a little weird. It's kind of turning a little bit. So I think we're in some unknowns with these winds, these waves, the angle of the waves. I think we're in unknowns with the new moon on the 15th. Could be some big coastal impacts. As this thing's heading right smack dab close to the Bay of Fundy, too. Expected to be weakening, obviously, once it crosses land and goes north. The water is cold. Water gets very cold once the Gulf Stream disappears, but it should be hanging on for a little longer. Zigzag's confident. Weakening's confident. The overall size is confident. It's going to be a huge system. Don't look. If you're new to the site and you're wondering what the heck the cone is anywhere the eye can go. This thing's so big, you might have tropical storm force winds way outside the whole cone. I mean, the cone is just where the center can go. That's a big thing because people think that's only the places that are going to be affected. You might be, in Cape Cod right now thinking, oh, I'm done. No. There's models showing you're going to get hurricane winds plus if this thing passes a little bit to the west. Big gusts, big waves, big winds. Power outages are going to be a big story. They're getting a lot of rain today. There's the main front that's coming to pick this up is in 2 days. That's going to bring more rain. This is going to bring rain. A lot of New England. I'm learning a lot from y'all from New England. That when you have noisters, when you have noisters, what the hell's a noister? When you have nor'easters, they don't have any leaves on the trees up there. I never thought about this. Now you have leaves on the trees, which means the trees are going to be bending more. The winds can't blow through the branches. So we'll see. But there's a lot of locals up there that told me you all have power outages, on after a little thunderstorm. I mean, you're gonna have strong winds way inland. Hell, New York will be feeling this thing. So that's history shows when you have trees that haven't experienced hurricane force winds or strong tropical storm force winds in a long time, saturated grounds, higher elevations too. This isn't like flat Florida. There's places that they're starting elevating. Those winds are a lot stronger, higher in the elevations. So going to get a lot of power outages. A lot of people might not be planning on that. And the same thing goes with Nova Scotia. Fiona last year hit the other side of Nova Scotia, the eastern side. This is a whole different area. So you two also probably haven't had anything like this in a while. So very, very, very important to get the word out that this is not anything to turn your back on. Now, let's look at spaghetti models. These are tricky. Latest 18Z just came out. Now, if you were looking at these, you would say, oh, totally going to, maybe clip Maine, right? Go to Bay of Fundy, western Nova Scotia. Problem that we have is what we saw with Ian, the Euro's trending against these models. And the Euro is hard to turn your back on ever. So that possibility of this thing fanning out and getting close to, northeast side is 100% on the table here. I saw an interesting article. I meant to share it and I forgot and I can't find it, but referring back to past tracks that merge with fronts and they've always had a western turn with them. So, don't look at this and think, this is kind of like we were looking with Ian, looking at the Panhandle. Everybody was South Florida thinking, oh, it's no. And that's because there's your latest ensemble plot from the Euro. Not to say the Euro can't be wrong at all. Never, ever. Every model's got a day where it's not going to be right. It's just, that's an awful lot of models on the Euro. And majority of them are, here's the Bay. So, majority of them are still way west of the averages. So, got to take that in consideration. The Euro is extremely well with upper air patterns. Extremely well. Extremely good with upper air patterns. Oof, that didn't come out right. I want to bring this up before I forget. So I did a little homework. I was trying to find nor'easters that were impactful in that area. I ran across this one. This was in 2001. They called it 2021. I was off by 2 decades. You got any locals up there? Is any of this possibly even true? I'm not making any of this up, but New York could be all the way inland because of the winds. The wind map's going to be, you're going to have, not hurricane force winds that far inland, but strong rotating winds out of the north and northeast. Different directions than a lot of y'all are used to seeing winds. Could be a little different. Darcy, yeah. So what do you think? This is a little unique, isn't it? So this was a 2021 Wikipedia article on the January 31st, February 3rd nor'easter, and it was bad. Brandon Clement got some really amazing surge videos there in on that Gulf of Maine there, and I think it was Massachusetts. What was that one town? Somebody this morning, Shelley, told me Skitchahatchee or something. There's another. Every storm's got a town that I can't figure out the name until it's over. And there's one up there that was like something Hatchie or something. But what was interesting with this one? Here's the track of it. Typically, nor'easters do that. This one's coming in like that. What's different about it that I think is that when you get these coming, you get waves kind of like doing this the whole time, but when you have what we have now, we're gonna have waves and winds really coming in at a different angle that we didn't see with this nor'easter. Could be wrong, but just seeing models. But this particular storm this is what really. So I'm trying to figure out pressure, right? So when it was, there's a whole article on the pressure. So it was a 990 millibar system off the coast of Jersey with a minimum of 985 when it reached Nova Scotia. Now, I know it's totally different nor'easter, but frontal line merging with the tropical system, we have models showing 960 range pressures, and I keep beating this down like it's but to me, we're going to see some pretty big wind effects and waves. Just there was a lot of flooding with this system in 21, and it was only 985 millibars. So that I'm just really cautioning that we could see some big effects up there with the winds and the waves. Thought that was pretty interesting because there was a lot of flooding and surge just from a nor'easter. Some of the latest maps here from the Euro I want to show you real quick on that setup here, as we just got a lot of our wave maps in. So let's look at the latest 12Z for the northeast and see what it's showing. Here's the 12Z. They're all in now. Yep, they're all in now. So here's the latest. So right there, this would be Saturday. But see the little arrows. I don't know if you can see the arrows or not. But this could really be significant in that area. What am I getting? YouTube. All right, somehow I got a YouTube search. I saw Little Johnny. I haven't seen a Little Johnny joke in forever. Remember? Why did that pop up? Little Johnny. Remember Little Johnny jokes? So here's the latest Euro. And those are pretty big waves. I don't know. That's pretty big to me. 40, 45, really close to the coast here. Look at that spiral motion. The winds are going to be coming in at an angle. So this whole area right here, I'm telling you, you got to be very, very, without a direct landfall, it doesn't matter. It's not going to matter where this thing landfalls. It's that water being pushed. One thing about a nor'easter too, it comes off the coast and it's not really pushing water that direction. This thing's a tropical system that's going to be wide, like super wide. And it's just going to be pushing that water northward. We got a new moon on Thursday. So I just think the water is going to be the biggest story that people are going to be like, oh, where'd that come from? So, and then if I'm wrong, I can say I'm wrong. No storm surge map yet, Jim. I'm not talking about Invest 98. That's tomorrow. There's nothing to worry about with 98. Most of the models are showing it recurving. What's up, Yohel? What's up, buddy? How's it going, Heather? Hurricane Juan? Cool. I'll have to look at that one, Hurricane 1. We could look at Hurricane 1. Gary, we'll look that up. There's a great site on my page here, by the way. I'm not going to do it right now because I got dinner plans. But past tracks right here. Great site. Coast NOAA. You type up. What was the one? I'll do the first one. What was the first one right here? I can't even remember where it was. It came up Halifax. Which one was that? Edna. I don't know if we have good. Okay, Gary. Well, I can't find the other lady. I'm sorry. We'll just look up Edna. So Edna. Oh, didn't even come up. What year was it? 54. Here we go. Right here. So there's Edna. Yeah, you're pretty darn right. This one's a little different too, though. See, it's more like a nor'easter track. I'm telling you, I'm just really. There hasn't been any really doing this little zigzag thing. You know, that's going to be really interesting. We haven't seen one come up, turn, and then turn. You know, that's kind of the trend here. All of them are doing this little turn, but, you know, it's going to be pushing all this water up with it. I hope I'm not hyping that. It just, what I've learned with tropical systems is, and some of this water could pile up here. For sure. That's, you know, Long Island into Connecticut there. So, you know, this is going to be something to watch. We don't really have any surge maps yet. The NHC doesn't issue any surge until we get closer to warnings. I didn't ever add that surge map, did I? I told everybody I was. I didn't. Did I never do it? Nobody's even. So that means nobody even listens to me. Because I said I was going to do it 2 days ago and I forgot. I don't think we got to have a surge map yet. This map really doesn't get going until the storm gets closer. So I'd be cautious on it yet, but maybe it is getting a little. You know what? Maybe I need to add that. I won't forget. This might be kind of catching up a little bit, maybe. So it could. See, this is not official, but we're starting to see 6 foot, 5, 6 foot right here, and this is based on the NHC track. But you know, we're starting to see surge maps. Possible. I don't. You know, like I said, these aren't official, but 6, 7, 8 feet starting to show up. Well, not 8, probably 6.5, 4 or 5 on the coast there. So I'll link it. They usually that's the Bay of Fundy. I don't know how accurate that is compared to normal. You know. That's a cool site, though, Sierra site. You know, peak in September 16th at 6 foot, 5.5 foot. Now, the thing about surge is, I don't know if the moon is accounted on this one. The NHC does account the moon, so when the NHC comes out, they'll add tide values expected to that. But winds and waves are not contributed to surge. So if we have a 6 to 7 to 8 foot surge, 5 foot surge, 6 foot surge, the waves are on top of surge, and that's what causes the problem. The water rises, but then when you get these intense waves being blown in, that's going to create a lot of problems. So, all right, let's look at some of the latest wind maps. There's that YouTube page again. I have to look back at that one. Maybe Emily was Googling. Sarah sometimes gets on my laptop. I get Miley Cyrus. She loves Miley Cyrus. I don't know. I always get Miley Cyrus songs. It's like, what are you doing? Listen to Miley Cyrus. She actually was good when she was country, I thought. I don't really like her when she went pop, but Northeast. Here we go. Let's do this. Let's look at some wind gusts. It's kind of hard. This map isn't really the best when it comes to these are knots too, which is a little deceiving. So basically just figure this. Anybody in yellow could be 60 plus gust, okay? I mean, these are, you know, yellow's around 40 knots. But the idea is the winds are going to extend, you know, well past center. And this is the big effects that they're concerned about, and that also means rains and storms. Closer this thing gets to whoever, there's going to be a tremendous amount of rains and storms. And the trend has been, if you haven't been watching, but the trend here, let's go to Tropical Tidbits. The trend has been an extremely western lopsided system with the rains. Everything is showing up with extreme rains on the eastern side. Let me go more apparent version here. Man, we can't do it on that one. We'll just do the regular ones for now. Let me show you the latest here. Let's do all the biggies first, and then we'll show you what I'm talking about. But anyway, here's the latest, just to kind of give you that look of what it's going to look like. So on approach here, first thing to note is this, okay, 962 millibars. I'm telling you, it's low. They're extending the hurricane deeper now, past Cape Cod, which means, like I said earlier, as this thing approaches Cape Cod, we might have hurricane force winds to the north of this thing before it transitions. So even when our system, let's say, is down here, we might have hurricane force winds rolling in ahead of it because it's still tropical. You know, that's really a possibility. So, you know, and these are wind barbs that are going, you know, this direction, and they're very tight. Anytime you get that many tight isobars, that basically means a lot of wind. There's a lot of gradient, more pressure gradient, more wind. So on approach, this is Saturday morning, so Friday night, you know, the timing of this thing, like I showed before, you might start getting tropical storm force winds as early as Friday night. And Friday 8 p.m. So Friday 8. So Friday afternoon, even Long Island here, there's an outside chance here that you might start getting some big gusts. But Friday 8 p.m., 8 a.m. Saturday, it's not even making landfall yet, but you're already going to have tropical storm force winds because it's so big. So it's one thing to learn with tropical systems too is, you know, don't focus on that eye wall or the center, because you're going to start feeling things with this storm way ahead of it, like maybe 12 hours ahead of it, because it's so big. So if you had a landfall, like let's say Saturday at 8 p.m., you're going to start getting, you know, intense winds like in the morning. It's going to take 10, 12 hours maybe to get to you. So anyway, it's a good map. I got that on there. To show you how this thing is going to be, if you look at the 850 winds, so usually if you share an 850 millibar, but this is the winds above the surface, 1,000 or 2 feet, I don't know how far up, that's why I'm not a real Met, they would tell you that one, but it's more than I can touch. But this usually equates to energy that can sometimes reach the surface. So there's a huge expanding wind field that, you know, is still purple, with a heavy over the Cape Cod, heavy inland here, heavy into Nova Scotia. Even your 10-meter winds are showing now reds and purples, and that is intense. These are tropical winds that could be hurricane force winds on approach. See that? So this thing doesn't appear subtropical yet. Now when it gets into here, look, that's what the talking points are. But the problem is it's going to be moving fast. How slow does it actually transition to something that might be weak? You know, to me, 967 millibar is going to be strong. We're going to have a lot to learn on this system when it's all said and done. So again, you know, this whole eastern coast here, you know, basically if you're in, well, obviously Nova Scotia because it's heading your way, but I just don't want these people to think that they're not going to get anything, because even with a landfall, you know, here, you're going to get a lot of action there. And you're going to be like, oh, I didn't know that. So that's that. The Euro, you know, it's a little bit west than everybody else. Some of your higher resolution models kind of were doing the same thing. Let's see. They were showing a turn in to that bay, the Gulf of Maine. That's your HAFSA doing the same thing. HAFSB, it's hard to say, but I'm getting good at it. And that's really getting close to Cape Cod right there. Latest H-Wharf, not the best track model, but it's close to Nova Scotia. Of course, the GFS has been trending a lot more to the Nova Scotia idea. Right there. Now you can see how it transitions from a really strong system in the last second. But look at the 963 pressure. and there's Nova Scotia there. Obviously, all this extends northward. Heavy rains. You know, I'm not gonna. I mean, beat it, but it's like a lot. Whatever happened. No, your audio didn't mess up. I just stuttered a bunch. And then I want to look at the latest KMA model because it wasn't out when we did our little thing this morning. So we're going to look at it now. Not a bad model. I've been trying to learn more about it. It's been kind of a little erratic on east to west. Oh, now there it is. 12Z still running, taking its old time. So it's not even in yet. Data's not even in yet. So there you go. You know, I think I covered most of it. 30 minutes. So you know, I posted my Aaron Burnett show on X. I'm gonna probably share it on Facebook, but things I said last night are still holding true. You know, I'm worried about people hearing. I hate it when a storm gets degraded because that makes, like, sometimes it's even breaking news. They go, breaking news, Lee downgraded to a 2. Brown, that doesn't matter. Man, Sandy was a 1, 80 mile an hour, I believe, when it made landfall. Not to say this is a Sandy, but, you know, there's been storms that were 1 and 2s that create a lot of headaches. So don't think because it's downgraded, oh my God, it's not going to be anything, because that doesn't mean nothing. You know, tiny little storm, maybe, yeah, but this is going to be big. And, you know, we got, like I said, the elevation there is a little higher, so higher up, going to be even more winds the higher up you go, because, you know, we see that here living in Pinellas County with Irma, right? Dunedin's like 60-foot elevation compared to 10 here. Dunedin had more tree damage than anybody because it was only 60 foot higher up than the flat areas. So, you know, I'm really curious the wind damages we're going to see, because the higher up you go, I saw it here with 60, 50 foot maybe max, and the tree damage was way worse than coastal areas. So the higher up you go, you get bigger winds. And there you go. I mean, well, you know, I'm already hearing it with the tone of some Mets are kind of coming up a little bit. So, you know, a lot of them blew it off. I got a lot of screenshots of professional Mets that pretty much said, "Don't worry, it's not going to be anything." So, if they ever bash me, if they ever bash the dude with a website, I got evidence. Oh, anyway, don't be nervous. Meteorologists aren't saying much just because they're you know, I can say this. I have a lot of great. Elliot Brown, you live in the mountains of Florida. That's awesome, but I don't know why they banned Shelly. Why would they ban her comment that said mountains in Florida? I know that's Ocala, right? Ocala, Gainesville. You can go. 301 is the best drive when you cut over on 321 north of Ocala, and those roads are just like, this is Florida. Or how about even 75? You go through a few roly-polies up there. I like them. Another Ella Brown. They're blocking you left and right. Thank you there, Jamui Rooney. Rooney, you live at Cape Cod, right? Hill Garage from hot Miami. Florida, you're going to get a lot of waves, big waves starting Wednesday, Thursday. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, if we're going or not, but I got to go, man. Plus, let's see, I mean, I've been promoted as a storm chaser, so got to go with storm chaser. Phil's bailing out on me, though, so I'm solo. Anyway. So that's pretty cool. 30 minutes. I hope I went over it really good for everybody. You know, tomorrow's a whole fresh set of data. Don't concentrate on that final track. You know, steering current's making a lot of sense with the Euro. I can't go against the Euro with this little west jog. High pressure is building in between, and this was a week ago. This was the discussion point. Margot, right there. Here's the Invest 98. We'll talk about it tomorrow, but don't fall into the hype yet. There's really not a lot to hype about it. We have very weak Bermuda high right now, so it's very unlikely it's going to make a big track west, but we're going to go over it tomorrow. Not saying it's not, just there's no evidence of hyping it right now is what I'm saying. That high pressure is coming in. Guess what? Helps it come up, but then it blocks. And there's a little weakness here that's kind of getting attracted to. So European does really good. You know, and the slower the system, here's our front system pulling away. This, you know, long time ago, this thing was supposed to be way up here, long gone by now. but it's not. So our front has slowed, or our system has slowed to a crawl. Frontal system's disappearing. High pressure's building back in, and the Euro's feeling it, and it's jogging it west a little bit. But again, those pressures, don't discount those pressures. I'm the only one saying it. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. I think it's going to be a really windy event, wavy, windy event that catches a lot of people off guard. You know, precipitation too. You're going to have heavy rain. This thing, it all comes down to how close it gets to the coast, but it doesn't matter. Tropical systems have a lot of rain, and it's going to be using some fuel, you know, out there pulling in from that front from the north. But look at that. I mean, those are heavy, heavy rain bands. You know, GFS, everything's western weighted. All the models are showing that. Every model's showing western weighted rains. So add more rain and heavy winds. And, you know, I got a theory too. It's really silly, but if trees are always used to getting blown one direction, now we got a system got winds blowing in from the other direction. So anyway, well, thank you all for watching Pineapple Willie's. I would love Gary. We were this there, Gary Kent. You worked there? We were there. We had our big softball USFA. Mark Sheldon, good friend of mine, took the team there and had a few of them fruity drinks. I don't know what y'all put them in. I had 2. I thought I could handle 3. Nope. Julie drove me back home. That was the night I fell asleep in the golf cart till 3:30 in the morning. I wonder if people walked by and thought I was like the Bernie guy. So where do y'all think I should fly? New Haven? I want to be where I want to be right where them winds are. Since I've been talking so much about surge, I would probably I'd like to go. I want an easy airport. I want a one-way airport ticket too, but I want to go somewhere in this neck of the woods right here, obviously. This area right here. I mean, I want to see what it's going to be like with these winds and water and waves, you know. That's the official track, by the way. Shelly, I did not get a text, Shelly. I can't go to Canada, so how far of a drive is it to Boster to Bangor? I don't know. We'll be somewhere around here. I got to get lobster too, you know, so. Since Phil's not going, I'll probably go Friday. No, I didn't get your joke. I didn't get your text, Shelly. I hope I get more than a little two-wheel drive car this time. So, Bangor, not Bangor. I don't know. Anyway, all right. We'll have a really long live in the morning. I don't want to wear my voice out. That's the latest. I hope you got something out of it. I rambled on. I don't even know what I said. But, yeah, I'm starting to feel the tone of some Mets, though, getting a little bit more, hey, better watch this thing. And this one is very, very close to a landfall. Granted, it's 75, but you don't get a lot of hurricanes up there. Very few. And you can't discredit that Euro going a little bit more to the west. And again, it's not, we're talking about a system that's going to be like that big. So it's not going to really matter too much. It's going to be pushing a wall of water along with it and then spinning it. So Bay of Fundy ought to be interesting, right? All right, y'all. Have a great night. Thanks. We'll go back. I'll look back. Fix your audio. I'll go back and look at the comments later. And I'll bring a bag of Doritos. I'll bring Howard, Shelley, so I have somebody with me. Can't go to Fundy anyways. In that Canada, I'm not bringing my passport, so. But I will bring my book on the drone so I can learn all about it on the flight. I don't want to have to check a bag in either, man. But I probably have to. All right. See y'all tomorrow for Daily Brew. All right. Have a great evening. Enjoy yourself. We'll see you later. All right.